What up, y'all? It's Try. Welcome to Try's World. Sunday, April 12th. Coachella weekend. Been watching the live streams, some of the live streams. I watched Bieber last night, and I've seen some mixed reviews on it. My reaction was, it's midnight in the West Coast. It's later in other parts of the country, and I just thought he could have done a better job of, I don't expect him to be like baby Justin Bieber, but my other thing is, if he's not ready to perform yet, and he just wants to cry on stage or whatever he's doing, I think take some time and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to see people who, I want to see people who want to be there, and it just seemed like he took the first half an hour playing really really slow songs, and it's like midnight. So it's, to me, it has nothing to do with, hey, I want to make you do what you don't want to do. But if I just can't see how, as a performer performing at midnight, you aren't thinking about, hey, should I, on my albums, do I have any songs that I could start with that might be able to draw the crowd in? Maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to do it or whatever else, but that would have been nice if he just started with something a little bit more high energy. I mean, we just can't, at least Homechella, like myself, just witnessed a crazy good David Guetta set. And then I go over to Bieber, and he's just like basically crying on stage. And I know his longtime fans are like, oh, he's healing and things. But like I said, man, I got for folks like me who don't really pay attention to Bieber, except for his like old songs that would sometimes show up in clubs and other random songs. I just thought he could have kept it a little bit more high energy to start with, draw people in, then go to some slow songs. I mean, he went slow songs. I think he might have done Baby, picked up the crowd, and then said, hey, let's slow it back down. And it's like, I mean, I posted that on Threads. I got a lot of views. Didn't get so many likes, but I got an extreme amount of views. So even on Twitter, when I posted that on Twitter, I got a lot of views, which I never get views on Twitter. So Twitter's algorithm changed, by the way. Seems to have finally fed me more material that I actually like, and it didn't do that. It fed me what it wanted to feed me before the election. So the algorithm obviously can't be trusted, but for whatever reason, I got views for saying, this is boring, And it's like, to anybody who's like, hey, if you're not a hardcore Bieber fan, you'd realize he's crying on stage for you. And another post was like, he's got a great voice, and he's had a great voice. I mean, nobody's disputing that. I mean, but whoever you are, it's kind of like writing an essay. You want to draw the people in. It's fundamental at all aspects of at every age. That's what you learn, if you want to draw your reader in. But maybe he's like, I'm Justin Bieber, I don't need to draw you in. That's fine too. Maybe that's some aura or something. But for me, who's like, I'm not a big Justin Bieber like follower or fan, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I just watched Guetta, and now I've got to watch Justin cry on stage, essentially, or complain. It just felt like complaining on stage. And then I guess Dimension set, which I've seen him live here in the Bay. So I had to switch to Dimension set, and it immediately woke me up. So, I mean, shout out to EDM this year for making it big on, just taking up a lot of stages and time at Coachella. I love Sabrina Carpenter's performance. She's such a great performer. I just love how much effort she puts into it. She's so charismatic. And again, I'm not a fan of hers or anything. I don't know any of her songs really, but I just love how she keeps the end user in mind, the audience in mind, and really tries to cater to the audience and have all the same candid moments that Justin did on his YouTube. I'm not hating on that YouTube, like chilling and hanging out type thing. I'm not even hating on that. It's just the beginning. You want to throw in some high energy stuff, try to pick your crowd up and draw them in. And I just thought he didn't even care to do that. And it just seemed like a big miss. That's the best way to put it. It was a big missed opportunity for Justin, and to maybe make more fans like myself. But to the hardcore Bieber fever people and all the girls out there singing it lyric by lyric, congrats. You got to see Bieber perform. I thought it was absolutely terrible, but I'm not a hardcore Bieber fan either, so to be fair. Other than that, people seem to love my reel. I was not expecting that many views and like activity on my reel for ISO set. When I took those videos, when I take these videos at the events that I'm at, I do it and then even when I edit them, it is like mainly drops. There's a whole EDM channel to just drops, but I want not just drops, but like crowd reaction when I'm doing that. And so I looked for clips that showed the crowd reaction and the drop, and it had to be a good drop for the crowd to react. And I like a lot of ISO's drops, so I think he does an incredible job with his drops. I mean, even when he was performing at Ultra, I watched that on live stream or the replay. And his drops were extremely good, and the crowd was high energy there as well. So I did speak a bit on that. I don't want to keep, going over the same points over that I covered before, but I did not think that I was going to get 25,000 views or 26,000 views on the reel. Seemed like people liked that, and I was debating even posting it, to be quite honest, but I just saw so many negative posts that were, complaining about the facilities and all that and the people, and I just want to provide a different perspective, and it became, for me, somewhat a viral reel, I guess. And so thanks for the folks who shared it and liked it and made it that reel what it is, because I posted it. I did editing as far as, like I said, crowd reaction and drops, but it was mainly focused on the music, with short clips on, what happened in terms of people jumping the wall. But I really wanted to focus on the music and what I liked about ISO's performance and what I liked in his set. So I posted a follow-up clip in regards to his DJing too. There's some parts where it looks boring to the crowd, but he's actually transitioning, and the transitions are so long, you could tell that he's working on the transition, like live. And the fact that the crowd didn't react to it, in hindsight, made it even better, because that means he's doing it live. He's mixing live and stuff that people have never heard before. And I really am a strong believer in doing that in a set, is doing things live and ideally creating live. I think that goes back to, at least for me, some of the stuff that I think it goes back to some of the stuff that I grew up on, like hip hop, freestyle, rap. It's just nice to be able to freestyle. And then when it comes to breaking, it's nice to have some freestyle moves and things like that to impress the judges. But I mean, when I was breaking though, I always did pretty much the same routine, because it's just power moves are power moves. They don't really change. But I did notice in the Olympics that they judge based on creativity and doing stuff that you haven't seen before, and that is how I remember breaking to be as well. You always try to challenge it and grow it to a different level. It's just, when I was breaking, it was like, hey, start doing it on your elbows and start doing it on your wrists and things. It just seemed like the more painful it was, the more like you're pushing your body. And I just wasn't with that. But there's ways you can show style without hurting yourself. And I think that should be the same. It should carry that same mindset should carry through a live DJ set. Is mixing should potentially, you should be able to create on the fly stuff that you've never heard before. The thing that I put out in the FL Studio thing, that was me DJing and just messing around with stuff. And that's how I really ended up on that mashup, the Tinashe and Levels mashup. I didn't Google it beforehand or anything like that. I just had it in my mind, and I think I freestyled it during one of when I was practicing one of my sets. And so I really like the freestyle aspects of things, and I really like it when DJs are able to do that on the fly based on how they feel, how the crowd is feeling, and the situation that they're in. So I can appreciate those moments, and of course that got a lot less views. But the point is, people shouldn't forget about the music. I mean, that's still a big part of why people like certain artists, is their sound. And so it's not just going there and then just being a hot mess. It's that people like certain artists because of their music. At the end of the day, no matter how messed up you are in the head, you heard about this person because they have good music. That's the whole point. And it's just funny, all the clips that I saw is just anything but the music, right? It's just silly. And if you look at my other posts, it's the same thing. I didn't probably have a good enough view of the stage as I did, and not as crazy things happen. But I've been doing the same thing with all my other reels too. This one just happened to blow up, so appreciate the love on that one. I did get a lot of comments, and as you can imagine, on a reel like that, I mean on TikTok as well, a lot of random comments, a lot of random messages, and I don't know who the messages are coming from, and many times why people are saying what they're saying, but I try to keep it positive and things of that nature. One person deleted their comment because I think they realized like I'm unk status, and they were making fun of another unk looking dude. I mean, I told the people in the crowd I'm an unk. I don't really care. I mean, I'm literally an uncle. So like I was hanging out with this young, I won't say his name, but I met a guy, very nice, kind of broke the ice with that whole group, his whole group and that whole section. So thank you, you know who you are. But I was like, yo, I'm an unk. And he was with it, man. He was like, yo, man, if you need us, we're here. For whatever reason, he was really, he understood the moment. It was like there was a lot of pent up energy in that building at that point. And he was down to throw down, which I think viscerally he understood that it could be anything can happen in that environment. He's like, I got your back type thing. And he didn't even know me. So I was like, man, I got your back too, bro. I appreciate that, And so I do remember his name. I don't want to say it on here, but it's just people like that, and it created a whole blur feeling for that whole section, I feel like. I think, yeah, people don't understand, like, that wasn't a horrific crowd. I mean, I was talking to a lot of the people in the crowd, and some were planning to jump, but I had seen a lot of police presence come in beforehand, so, and you couldn't really see it from where we were at, because I had moved sections. So everybody coming through that section was like, yeah, like, I mean, they may not have seen it, or they may have seen it and thought they were safe over here, but as you can see in my video, people were getting tackled. People were definitely, and for what? It just doesn't seem worth missing a performance that you pay good money for just because you want to be in the pit, especially if our view was as good as it was already. I mean, I've been to enough events like the Berkshire Hathaway event. I'm kind of cross-pollinating things here with all my interests, but the Berkshire Hathaway event I was at had a same view of the stage, and people clamored over that view. So I kind of felt like it was already a good view, and I didn't need to necessarily get any closer. And yeah, somebody commented on one of the guys who was like something about Asian trains and how he hated them all over, and it just sounded really hateful and spiteful. And so I did say something about it, but somebody else commented on that guy's post and was like, "You're an unk, time to retire," or something like that. And I thought he was talking to me, so I replied and I said something mean, and he deleted his comment. But hey, my bad, dude. Whoever you are, I thought you were talking about me because I'm an unk too, but you were talking about the other guy, which I think he said he looked like wrinkly or something like that, which I still get carded. So, I mean, everybody in that section was like, I thought I was their age or something. I was like, nah, dude, I'm an unk, dude. I'm not. That's the other reason I'm not jumping the wall. I'm not doing that. So I'm very proud of my unk status, and I get all these influencers on podcasts always saying, yeah, I'm a 30-year-old raver or a 40-year-old raver. Right? Why do you even care? Like, who cares? I mean, live your life. If the young ones are like, hey, you should retire, this and that, it's like, who cares? I mean, if it's not like these events are cheap, and well, they're not terribly expensive either, but the point is it takes a certain amount of disposable income to go to these events. And so if you find someone who can actually afford the ticket and go, I mean, I've been going to these. My first one was Calvin Harris, and it's crazy. There was this host, I think her name is Wanderly, on the I'm Peaking pod. She's never been to a Calvin Harris concert, and that blows my mind. That was my first one, and that was in 2014 when I was working for Bank of America, and that was when I was first introduced to the EDM world. And then, so that was my first one, 2014, and then I've seen Skrillex, and then I went to Vegas twice, and I saw other acts, 2 other ones. I've seen Skrillex, I've seen Zed, I've seen Diplo, so, and then there was that long break, and then there was COVID, and so, I mean, I feel like I'm still catching up somewhat, and there's events, like I've never been to EDC, for example, and the 30th year is coming up, really fast around the corner here. But that's something I've never done. It's I still may or may not do it, but it's not the cheapest event, but it is culturally significant event in the dance music world, electronic dance music world. I mean, Ultra might be even more impactful, but that one I've never been to, and partly is because you're working so hard. I worked hard to get here, and I'm still working hard. So it's just I'm not getting any younger. How about that? It's like, you're not getting any younger, and you start, especially when I got back in the gym after COVID, I'm like, man, there's some aches and pains I've never felt before. And so you start feeling it when you hit 40, and you're like, dang. Like when I walked all over Japan, I was like, it was physically taxing, and I had a little bit of back soreness, but I got over it. I'm healed now. But then you start realizing, hey, I'm not going to be young forever. So that's where I'm at, and I don't care if people call me whatever. And I don't know why people focus on that so much. I don't know why people are so self-conscious about it. Live your life. So, I mean, let the young folks think what they can. I mean, I don't have any beef against the younger generation. If you look at my posts, there's a lot of hate on the younger generation and how they don't know how to, rave and be plur. And I didn't really see that. I disagree. I disagree that I think it's great that young folks like it, and that they're finding an identity, and they're finding building a culture and an identity around it. Entire podcast dedicated to it. So I'm all for it, and obviously be safe and smart, but I'm all for that. It's just interesting to see, because I feel like it just seems to be picking up more steam, surprisingly. Like when I saw Zed in 2014, I think maybe it was 2017, and he had his first Clarity hit in like 2014, around there. when I saw his head, I didn't have any idea who he was. So I was like, man, I'm getting old. But then I look back when his first hits were, and he was actually relatively new in terms of he was just starting to blow up. And that's just like ISO. I think he's going to be on the scene for a while. So that's why I wanted to see him now. And he's already causing a lot of noise and impacting the EDM scene in a way that he's taking it by storm. That's the best way to say it. I think it happened after Night Hearts. I started seeing his memes and posts everywhere. Him and Knock 2. What else? I don't have many notes as far as markets. It looks like not much there. I am looking at the feedback, and people seem to like my Michael Jordan talk, reel thing, or short, YouTube short. And I'm just looking at any notes that I missed. Headlines are that the administration is going to block the Strait of Hormuz now instead of allowing Iran to get revenue from it. We're thinking about it. Went from we are going to block it, the administration is going to block it, to thinking about it. So fluid situation. I think, again, it's really hard to outguess or guess what the administration is going to do and try to trade based off that. I wouldn't do it. Otherwise, Sacramento Kings ended their season with the win over the Warriors, and rookie's looking good. Devin Carter had a great game. Congrats to him. He might be our future point guard. We might be in good hands there. He's pretty good. He has a dad who's in the NBA as well. So other than that, yeah, just been, like I said, watching Coachella. I thought Afrojack had a great set. I thought that there was this German DJ and this Japanese DJ. I thought theirs were really cool. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, as far as markets and investing, not much there. I guess an inflation report. I think an inflation report was released showing that oil is obviously starting to crimp spending. And that's not good. Futures are down. Yeah, I didn't think futures were going to react well to the announcement by the Trump administration that they're going to essentially block the Strait of Hormuz themselves, or threaten to. Oh yeah, personal taxes due in 3 days. So there's that. So remember to file your extensions, and if you owe any taxes, you still got to pay it. Just checking some news here. I feel like Justin Bieber looking through his YouTube. I mean, I get his set. Like, he wants to be more chill. He wants him to be him. He wants people to realize he's human. It also spoke to his discovery on YouTube as an artist. I think that's cool. And I think it did take a certain amount of healing for him to be able to sing Baby again. I don't know the last time he sang that, because I think he had to confront a lot of, I guess, demons as far as that song and how he broke into the industry and probably all the stuff that he saw as a young person. He probably saw a lot of traumatizing things. And so for him to kind of be able to sing that without feeling, or without at least letting the baggage drag him down, I thought that part was pretty cool. I mean, he looked at his 4-year-old self with his hair. You know how people like to tear up their own photos and say, that wasn't me. And they want to be totally apart from anything they were in the past, even though who you were in the past has built you to... I've never been one to just be throw away everything in my past. I've had so many, I've changed in many ways. I've stayed the same in many ways, but I'm never ashamed of who I was. It's you make mistakes in life and you learn from them and you get better. And so it was really cool for me to see Justin be able to look at his 5-year-old or 4-year-old self when he was first discovered on YouTube, and be able to say, I was that guy. This is who I was. This is what made me. So that was pretty cool. I realized that after the fact. So not all bad things. I just think he could have done a better job welcoming people in. Which he ended up doing, and people are very happy about it. His fans are very, very happy about it, and so that's always good to see, him in a healthier state and being able to, again, be who he is and not be ashamed of who he was, because who he was has made him into what he is today. So I'm a strong believer in that, and there's no shame in being able to say, I'm no longer that person, but that person, I think it's really powerful when people are able to acknowledge that person has made me who I am today. You've come to terms with it. You've gotten better because of it, and there's no shame in that. And I just think I didn't read no articles on that. It was really cool to see him and sing along with his 5-year-old self and not be like, I'm too cool for my 5-year-old self. You know how celebrities nowadays are like, I'm too cool for school. I'm just going to do a bunch of drugs and, because I got all this money now, and be someone totally different than who I was and run away from who I was, and and it's just so many celebrities are doing that. And so it's really cool, and I hope for all the things that he copied, like Kanye West's stage and his style. I think that's where he set, I hope, Hollywood and celebrities in a better path. Is, you don't have to hate yourself. Like Justin Timberlake and NSYNC, oh, I don't want to ever do NSYNC again. I want to be Justin because Eminem made fun of him and all this stuff. This is who you are, and it's not who you were. It's not who you are now, and that's okay. But, how cool would it be for Justin to get back and with NSYNC and sing It's Gonna Be Me and not be embarrassed by it? I think that's them. It's Gonna Be Me. I think that's them. But I was never a big boy band fan, but bye bye bye. Yeah, that is NSYNC. So yeah, I mean, that'd be cool to watch him do that and to be like, hey, I don't care if you make fun of me or not. This is who I was. So I hope people have a healthier relationship with who they were instead of running away from it or whatever it is, and because they got made fun of, or maybe they got taken advantage of in the industry or something. I don't know. I mean, I hope that his leadership in that area, being able to sing along to like what some people see as corny or weak, like Chris Brown, like maybe he could sing to his, old childhood songs. I think that'd show a lot of growth in the industry and for celebrities. So I would actually like to see more of that. So I think that was pretty cool of Justin to do. Not a Justin Glazer. Check the threads. I'm pretty critical of his beginning, but I thought the positive parts spoke for themselves. Yeah, so Swalwell and what's going on with him. I'm not gonna lie. I liked how strong he was with Trump, but the allegations against him now are extremely serious and they're credible. It shows that who he presents as a strong, like, taking on Trump, like, type of guy may not be who he really is, which we've seen this so many times. And I think some people are saying, well, Republicans do it all the time and they get away with it. And it's like, and I see things like what happened with Cesar Chavez, the left canceling the left or something like that. These really weird comments. And I think there are a lot of differences between the accusations on the right and when they took place, and the accusations now against Cesar Chavez and now, what is his name? Swalwell. I think they're very different. I've seen posts that's like, hey, we should continue to protect Swalwell. I'm going to call him by his first name, Eric, no matter what. But from what I've read, I mean, he'd be lucky to keep his current job. And this is not cancel culture. This is, he had an aide, an intern who's half his age, lodging these accusations against him. I mean, this is not someone who's distant, and this is like, I worked for this guy, and the person that's seemingly closest to him is accusing him of rape. So that is just, that's really bad. And then this other influencer, but it's the same pattern of behavior too, going out and getting these women incredibly drunk, these really, really young women who are basically half his age, really, really, really drunk to the point where they don't even remember what happened. That's scary. I mean, it shows that I don't know, based on these articles, that's, if true, it's very predatory behavior. And of course, you don't want that type of person in office, someone who's so willing to abuse their power. And that's what these women are saying. I don't want to compare and contrast. It's not like, hey, Susie, that's what I saw in the ISO set as well. When I saw all these people jumping, it just reminded me, for whatever reason, like lemming behavior. And literally, if your friend jumped off a cliff, would you? And a lot of people apparently would. So, just because other people are getting away with it, it doesn't mean that, you should do it or let somebody else do it. Okay? I do think it's different. And I do think the timing is different of where these accusations surfaced. But even if that was the case, that, hey, certain people got away with it and they're okay with it, which, again, I think it's different. But even if that was the case, that doesn't make it okay for somebody else to do it and for people to support that, in my view. So that's my opinion. Just because you see somebody jumping over the wall at an ISO set and is able to run into the crowd and escape, it doesn't mean you can. You might be the one who's caught, all of a sudden facing expulsion, probably from Cow Palace, some embarrassment, and all that. So yeah, not worth it. So yeah, just because other people get away with it, it doesn't mean that you will. And yeah, we're seeing headlines already. Oil jumps, stock futures sink. Well, that's the headlines, It's a fluid situation. It rallied because supposedly there were ceasefire talks, things of that nature, and they were breaking down in real time, and now they've seemingly really broken down. And so, yeah, we have to be careful and cautious and patient I mean, it's a fluid situation, but yeah, people just need to, because things aren't going to work right unless the Strait of Hormuz is solved. So, and it looks like we're not very close to solving that. So, but again, I can't read the future. I mean, I can only see values and stock values and individual stock values and things of that nature. And I think I've been saying it all year. I mean, there's definitely reason to be cautious. So at times it almost seems like this administration is trying to manage market sentiment somewhat, but then they realize they got a real tough job ahead of them too. So let values guide you as an active investor, as a passive investor. Don't let all this get to your investment program. Keep up the investment program. Be patient. Continue to contribute the same amount that you usually do to your retirement account, if it's 10% or less or more, but contribute the same percentage on the same regular basis. If things improve, you'll have bought more at a good time. If they don't improve, then, well, eventually, in the long run, it'll be fine. So if it doesn't improve, you'll continue to buy more, and then in the long run, you'll be fine. So with that, stay healthy, stay sane, and hope everybody has a great rest of the week.